hallucinations and loss of personal identity, which some people call the dissolution of the ego. These brain scans have revealed that those people under the influence of LSD have been able to draw information from many different parts of their brain. Well, under the drug, regions of the brain that are typically segregated are seen to be not just connected to each other, but almost speaking to each other neurologically. That's how it's been described. The first ever modern brain scans of people under the influence of the psychedelic drug LSD has given researchers brand new insight into the neurological processes that occur in the brain that causes the effects of LSD. For example, oneness with the universe, visual hallucinations, and loss of personal identity, which some people call the dissolution of the ego. Well, these brain scans have revealed that those people under the influence of LSD have been able to draw information from many different parts of their brain. Well, under the drug, regions of the brain that are typically segregated are seen to be not just connected to each other, but almost speaking to each other neurologically. That's how it's been described. Regions of the brain that we normally see apart from each other are connected and talking to each other. It's been called a more unified brain. In this case, under LSD, when we look at the brain scans that have been done, it's not that area that's being triggered when people are seeing things. They're effectively seeing with their eyes shut, using other areas of the brain that are not normally attributed to visual sightings. So this study was done on 20 volunteers. They came in on 2 separate days. On one day, they were injected with a dose of 75 mcg of LSD, and on the other day, they were given a placebo. They used various different types of brain scanning technology, for example, arterial spin labeling, resting state MRI, and magnetoencephalography. Well, the scientists, they measured blood flow, they measured connections between the brain networks, the brain waves, and they basically found that one of the key things, and this obviously can help to understand why people feel a lot freer when they're on something like LSD, is that the restricted thinking that we usually develop when we grow from infancy to adulthood appeared to be reversed when under the influence of LSD. So it basically made people feel more childlike, more free, and used much more of the brain and connected much more of the brain than we typically see on a day-to-day basis.
maybe they're onto something with this study.
These people thought that they could use more of their brain, they could download information, become smarter in their everyday lives if they just took a little bit every day. Well, these brand new breakthrough brain scans, they're really showing what goes on in the brain and why these people feel that they're using up a larger proportion of their brain, being more efficient and smarter on an everyday basis. And it's because these regions, these networks in the brain that don't normally work together, start working together in a more unified way. Well,